Hey, what my people? What's going on? What's going on? Oh, dang. I should have went on StreamYard. I should have went on StreamYard. I think that what's up, Miss Lady T? I should have went on StreamYard, but I don't want to restart. I don't want to restart the live. But uh I think that I'm gonna restart the live and what's up, Alazar? What's up, bro? I think I'm gonna restart the live and go on StreamYard. Therefore, I can invite people on if they choose to come up or whatnot. Or I also let's see, I might can do call in. I let my phone charge up, but tonight I'm gonna speak in on the aspect of like what does it mean to be an independent thinker, and why is it important to be an independent thinker? Um, on the basis of the things that we see when it come when it comes to YouTube, I've learned that you have to have the ability to think for yourself. Let's see. All right, let me see. I think when it comes to YouTube, you have to have the ability to think for yourself. Simply because it's so much, it's so much, so many different aspects that goes on when it comes to these YouTube streets. And a lot of stuff that we hear on YouTube, a lot of stuff that we see on YouTube, if it doesn't raise suspicions within yourself, then you should question: are you really paying attention? Are you really in tune? Because for myself, I see a lot of things that go on within within YouTube, and I don't try to get caught up and indulge in. I don't try to indulge in certain things that go on because I feel like for me, I'm a grown man, and say it's so much information out there, and if you don't do your research, you can be confused. Exactly. And for me, I'm touching on a base right tonight, like why I say it's so good to be an independent person, because it's people throughout YouTube that try to make you feel like you have to you got to pick a side. You know what I'm saying? But my whole thing is when you tell a person that you have to pick a side. So how do you have to pick a side when the fight is for R. Kelly? If the fight is for R. Kelly, there should be only one side, and there's R. Kelly's side supporting R. Kelly to support R. Kelly. If you say you came into this fight to support R. Kelly, the only thing that should matter is the support for R. Kelly. But you have people that if you don't, if you choose to listen to others. Oh yeah, they are playing. People are people. People are. One thing I tell people, Alazar, you just made a valid point. One thing I tell people all the time, when there are emotions involved, when there are emotions involved in things of things of this nature, what we see on YouTube streets, you done already sat yourself behind. You done already sat yourself back. Because once your emotions become involved, you blind yourself to the bullshit that comes behind it. You see what I'm saying? Once you choose to once you choose to say, you know what I'm saying, oh, I'm right here. I'm strictly right here. This the only person that I'm gonna deal with, this the only person that I'm gonna listen to, this, that, and the third. That's when you become what they say now, lost in the sauce. You know what I'm saying? When you when you predicate your thinking to only one way of thinking, you're setting yourself short of what you're trying to achieve. Understand, if we're leaving Minnesota and it's six of us and all of us is in different vehicles, if we say, well, we on a race to uh, Louisiana, okay, if it's six of us and we in five different vehicles and we on the race to Louisiana, we don't all have to take the same route. We don't all have to take the same path. We might even cross each other here and there. We might even, you know, we might even bump into each other here and there. But the whole thing is, if our goal is to get to Louisiana, it don't matter which way you take to get there, long as we all end up in the same place in the end. They say, and the dude is a production manager, and he can manipulate his show, and the people are lost in his sauce, choking. Exactly, exactly. And say, I don't understand is when the obvious doesn't make sense, how can you still be with the BS? You know why, Ann? Only way that you can entertain BS is if you are part of the BS. And that's why I say, for a lot of this shit that goes on within these YouTube streets, a lot of the people are a part of what we see. And my whole thing is, a lot of these people get on here defending shit or defending someone. One thing I don't do is, one thing I would never do when it comes to these YouTube streets. Me, myself personally, I don't care. I go around from one platform to another platform because I consider myself an independent thinker. I don't have to like you. I don't have to deal with you. But I can come to your platform and I can give respect and I can give credit what credit is due if you are speaking on something that I feel that is helpful to the injustice of what we're all in support of. I can respect it. I can take my hat off to that. I'm not the type of person that would discredit someone who's speaking correctly of a situation that I support. I'm going to take my hat off that. I'm going to respect any man or any woman who speak in support of something that I support. So with me saying that, I'm not going to restrict myself from going over here or going over there or listening to this or listening to that, because we all know when you form an investigation, you have to do an investigation of everything surrounding the topic of what you are investigating. You can't go on the West and say, "Oh, I got enough information from the West to understand what's going on in the East." Oh, I can't go to the South and say, "Oh, I got enough information from the South to understand what's going on in the North." It doesn't work that way. I have to visit every single side of the aspect to get back to the center and say, "Well, this is what I came up with." Alazar say, reading the letter, he said Kels was getting head and praying to God. Man, everybody know that letter is bullshit. And if people are still entertaining that letter at this point, if people are still entertaining the letter situation at this point, then they are only there for the bullshit. And like I say, I brought up a point. I brought up a point last week. I don't know if I ever got to do the video, but I want y'all to understand something. Why would the letter be more important than the song that Kels put out before he was incarcerated? Compare the letter to the song I Admit. He made a 19-minute song called I Admit. Why is, if he gonna make a song called I Admit, why the hell he put out a letter claiming to admit to shit that he didn't even admit to in the song? It doesn't make sense. Like, I'm that type of person. Like, I'm that type of person. You gotta make this shit make sense. Well, when I hear some parts of this letter, it's almost like, damn, I didn't hear it and I admit. I listened to I Admit, the 19-minute song. I listened to it. I didn't hear none of this shit in this letter. I listened to some of the letter, but I also listened to the song I Admit. How is it? How is it Kels speaking now, but he spoke in the song I Admit? You hear Mr. Don Russell also saying he didn't come in and he didn't get involved until he heard the song I Admit. So if the song I Admit was that credible, why is this letter so important now? It doesn't make sense to me. That's me. Because I went and pulled up the lyrics to the song I Admit. I pulled up the lyrics to the song I Admit. And I read these lyrics. I'm reading these lyrics to the song I Admit. I'm trying to compare I Admit, the song, to some of the stuff that we are hearing in this letter. Like, it's no comparison. There's no comparison. I challenge anyone to go and pull the lyrics from the song I Admit and go back and listen to some of the stuff that's within this letter, and you would say, well, damn, well, if he made this song I Admit in 2018, and then this letter was supposed to be his story, old and new, why am I not hearing anything in the song I Admit in the letter? It's shit that just make you go like, hmm. Well, if Kel spoke his truth in the song I Admit, and he admitted to a lot of shit within that song I Admit, I challenge you to go pull the lyrics. Go pull the lyrics, listen to it for yourself. Go pull the song I Admit, pull the lyrics, listen to them for yourself. And then when you listen to them for yourself, all you have to do is go back and listen to this letter. It makes like it's two different tones. It's like it's two different versions. And say, I feel like Robert has enough going on. Why would Cho even read something like that? I mean, but Ann, look at this, Ann. I know y'all saw my live, but last week I did when I did the live when I was in my car. I say, how the hell do you let a man come on your channel and say something so discriminating against someone that you supposed to be representing, but you allow this guy to come on here and say, we all know the man piss on bitches on tapes. If that's me, if I'm speaking for someone and I'm representing for someone, ain't no way in hell I'm gonna allow somebody to come on and say some shit towards somebody that I'm representing that like possibly admit like, oh, that was him. Like, hell no, man, man, what the fuck is you talking about? That one Kels on the tape. He got acquitted of that. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You can't come on my show and say no shit like that. But a lot of this shit that you're gonna see, we're gonna start to see that a lot of this shit was put into play for a reason. These people didn't just pop up out of nowhere. Trust and believe. These people did not just pop up out of nowhere. This man ain't just come around out of nowhere. How did you get here? And why is it that when you get here, all you doing is stirring the pot? You stirring the pot. You stirring the pot. At first, this dude, Mr. Con Hustle, the shit that he was going around saying, he was saying it he was saying this shit within smaller platforms. It's almost like the shit that he was saying, it was in smaller platforms, so the shit wasn't really reaching like that. It wasn't really reaching like that. So he was able to go around and maneuver. But if you look at the shit that Don was saying on these smaller platforms, and the federal government was able to get it, and they was able to put it into indictments. Imagine the shit that he was saying on a much larger platform. When he got on a larger platform, the shit that he was saying on smaller platforms, he wasn't saying. Just pay attention. Pay attention. He wasn't saying as much on these. He was saying shit on these smaller platforms. He was doing shit on these smaller platforms. He was saying shit on these smaller platforms. But look at how bold he got when he got on choke platform. I mean, when he got on choke platform, he just like, I'm gonna let everything out. I'm gonna say all the shit that they want to hear, they don't want to hear, they don't need to hear. I'm gonna expose whatever the fuck I know. Because what he was doing was he was calling out for someone to make sure that you hear what I'm saying. Make sure y'all, he got on choke platform to make sure that people was listening to what he was saying. Tayana Campbell say DR and the Flower Lady been missing for 20 years. Now pop up 3 years later. Hey, and if anybody in this group chat can put a 1 in this chat, I always ask, I asked this question. And I also went on choke platform and asked this question. I said, how did Miss Wimbush, when she came resurfaced to the scene, she was so defensive of Don and his mother on Dr. Wright's platform. You could not go on Dr. Wright's platform and speak against Don or his mother. When Dana, this is how long ago Dana J been speaking about Don Russell. When Dana J was speaking about Don Russell, and even he went to try to go on Dr. Rice's platform, Dr. Rice Sharon was frequent on Dr. Rice's platform. So this is for people who have to been watching this for quite some time now. When Sharon first came out, she came out on Dr. Rice's platform. Dana J started talking about what Don Russell was doing, what Don's mother was doing. Miss Wimbush was one of the ladies. She was one of the people. She was one and the only person at the time that was speaking up for Don and his mother. When Dana J was saying what Don has did, when Dana J was saying that Don's mother was the notary situation, when Dana J was exposing those things way back then, when he was the receipt man, Miss Wimbush was the one who was defending Dunn. So I went on choke platform when she was on there, and I asked the question. I said, well, why did you defend Dunn in the beginning, and now you are against him? And she answered it. She said, well, I thought he was for Robert or whatever the situation may be, and when I realized he had did what he did, and it got back to me that he had stole Robert's stuff, then she said that she was for Robert. Despite her relationship that she had with Don and his mother, that she was for Robert. And that was that. So, fast forward, Joke is choking and shout. Of course, but see, Alazar, that's why everybody know where Choke get. I mean, it's been exposed what his purpose is in this fight. So we get to Don Russell. How did Don Russell pop back up on the scene? If y'all wasn't listening when he was doing his interviews, he told y'all how he popped back up on the scene. He said he heard the song I Admit. When he heard the song I Admit, he felt he had to come in and help Rob, as he said. Those were words from his mouth. If y'all heard that, put a 1 in the chat. If you didn't hear it, put a 2 in the chat. I will go back and find the interview where he clearly said out his mouth that he came back in the picture when he heard the song I Admit, and he felt he could come back and help Rob. That's what came out of Don Russell's mouth. So that's how Don Russell came back in the picture after so long. Sharon Wimbush came back in the picture. I don't know how she got back in the picture, but she said she came back. She was in the fight for Rob. I know when Dana J came out and exposed that Don Russell and his mother, whatever they had going on about the fake notary and everything, Sharon was very defensive of Don. She was very defensive of June Berry. And when Dana J was saying what he was saying, when Dana went on Dr. Rice's platform and even tried to expose Don Russell and his mother. Sharon was defensive of him. Sharon also, when Bruce got hooked up with Don, it was a part of Sharon. You know what I'm saying? Sharon had inside connections with certain people that were close to Rob. So, I can't say that Sharon had bad intentions, without. I think she had good intentions for Rob, because when she found out that Don had Rob, I don't like to call him Rob because I don't know him. And I don't pretend to know him, and I don't want to act like I know him. So when Sharon found out that Don had Kel's shit, she exposed Don. She brought it to the mainstream. She brought it to the YouTube street and said, Don, you need to give Robert his stuff back. And said her answer made sense, because if you don't know something, is one thing, and when you see it, fuck shit, you move accordingly, and that's what I believe. That's what she said. She said that. Say, Johnson is a felon choking out with joke. At this point, I tell you like this. At this point, Choke is only going to be as relevant as people make him, because he's been exposed. His motives has been exposed on different different occasions. On different occasions, his motives have been exposed. This is why. This is why I tell you guys and ladies this. This is why I tell people. Period. This is why I tell supporters. Period. It's very important. It's very important that you be an independent thinker when it comes to the YouTube streets. You have to be able to think for yourself. You know what is good information. You know what is positive information. You know who is talking right. You know who is talking in the right direction. You know who's talking wrong. You know who's talking in the wrong direction. So don't allow anyone to tell you that because you do this or because you do that, you're doing the wrong thing. That's not true. You have to do your own. You have to form your own conclusion when it comes to the YouTube streets and what you hear. You have to be able to form your own conclusion, because somebody may tell you like this is going on, this is going on, and you be like, okay, well then this is what's going on right now. Then you might go to one side and you might hear something about this person on this side, and they only going to speak they only going to speak about the person that they like. You might have to go to the other side to hear about the opposite person that you heard about earlier. So you have to go to this side. You're going to have to go around these YouTube streets like a journalist and do your own research and form your own opinion. That's true, and maybe she thought he had good intentions. Everybody thought he had good. This is what I'm gonna say. Everyone thought Dunn had good intentions because Dunn came out and made it seem as if he had so much uh information or whatnot that could help Kells. He came out playing on it. He played on the emotions of a lot of the supporters. See what he done to me. Honestly, I feel like I feel like